Hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA. Just in case you're wondering who I am, that's me. And as you can see by the backdrop, I'm not in Florida anymore. Vacation has ended, back to the cold. I would say back to the grind, but those of you who either called or texted or emailed or had an interview set up, the grind didn't end. I was in Florida for a week and didn't stop working. We had a bunch of interviews, a bunch of good ones, got a lot of good work done. Just it was a little different working from poolside than it is from cold sunroom. So, but back in Connecticut, 2025 has begun, I probably said this a year ago on the show. It's hard to believe, but we can now say we're this year, like later on this year, we're almost there. We're going to be traveling, and that makes this like the best part of the year because this is the part of the year we have more interviews than any other part of the year. We get more committed travelers than any other part of the year. Like the next probably 6 to 8 weeks are just going to be super awesome. I'm real excited for 2025. I hope everyone had the best holiday season ever. A very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, et cetera, et cetera. And I will never get political on this show ever. It's just not my thing. But one thing I'll say is, in light of the tragedy in New Orleans that happened on New Year's Eve, it's just an intense time, and without any politics at all. It's one of those periods that I think everyone is on edge just a little bit. My hope for 2025 is that we just have some fun. All right. And also get lots of travelers. But I hope we as a people, as a country, as neighbors, as a community, we could spend 2025 just having a lot of fun. And I really think if we can just get back to having fun, things don't seem quite so intense. And I just feel like the world isn't quite as fun as it used to be. And I thought about that in Florida doing this video from poolside, which I don't even think Tim posted. I think it was just a live video, but it's okay, Tim. It was a holiday season. But let's just all have some fun in 2025. I can tell you, I know I'm going on United World Games tour. Maybe there'll be a second tour. Who knows how these things worked? It worked out last summer. If you're going to be with me on a tour this summer, we're having lots of fun. All right. And I just hope you in your world can have a lot of fun. But now on to business, our first latest spin of the new year, and a couple of things to try to make the process in general more manageable and understandable and easier for all of you, no matter where you are in the process. One is a bit more of a serious note. So we're getting a lot of applications come in, especially like the last probably 3 or 4 days. I've been looking at a lot of applications and a lot of requests for interviews. And for those of you who have traveled with us before, our application, we ask for certain items such as video, a letter of recommendation, and then the final part is an interview with me, which is the best part. But I'll just throw one out there. Anyway, we're getting a lot of letters of recommendation that we have to reject, and in that case, cancel the interview. So I want to make this clear because I'm dealing with a lot of teenage kids, so it's a good learning experience. So a letter of recommendation is something we ask for that comes from a teacher, a coach, an employer, a religious figure, someone in your life who can speak about you as a leader, as a teammate or member of an organization, and a responsible young adult who is going to do a wonderful job representing their own team, our organization, and the United States of America in international competition. Does it need to be 7 pages long? The answer is no, although I read every one. But we're getting a lot of letters of recommendation in that are clearly like a sentence long without even specifying who it's from. So like Tim is a great kid, will make a great addition to your tour. No name, nothing like that. A letter of recommendation should have some detail to it, with items such as the person who is writing it, the contact information of who's writing it, things like that. And so I want to just make that very specific because I've had to cancel probably in the last 24 hours 8 or 9 interviews because the letter of recommendation was not sufficient. So I think, in a piece of advice for you, if you're getting a letter of recommendation, is just ask the person writing it for one. They've probably written one before. All right. And just make sure there is some formality and detail to it. Not just Timmy's a great kid. Of course, you're a great kid. Most kids are great kids. All right. Almost all of them. But why are you a great kid? Why will you make a great leader? Why will you make a great representative and a great athlete, et cetera, et cetera? So just ask for some detail. Um, if it's someone who you've worked closely with, I'm sure they'll write it for you, and then you upload it. Okay, but the 1 sentence, 2 sentence text message is not a sufficient letter of recommendation. Keep in mind we don't hold in person tryouts for the most part. So the video, the letter, the interview, we take that really seriously. And so it's important for you to submit a document that really represents you well, so we can consider you for a spot on our tour, because our roster spots are limited and we certainly don't take everyone who we meet with. So hopefully that will help. And I didn't say this earlier, but cell phone number 213-508-8408. You can put questions in the chat. You can email me, mike@studentathleteworld.com, or give me a call, send me a text, ask me your questions. Item number 2 is a little more fun. So I don't love flying. It has nothing to do with the experience of being in the air. It has to do with everything else, from TSA, even though I'm pre-check, from TSA to luggage to just everything, the food. Coming home from Florida, the weather in Florida was perfect. The weather in Connecticut, where I live, was perfect. Everywhere in between Florida and Connecticut, the weather was perfect, and we still had a 6-hour delay. And we got like a $12 meal voucher, which was enough for like French fries and a water. So thanks, JetBlue. Yeah, there we go. But I personally am always trying to find ways to make travel, airplane travel, more manageable, more fun, easier. Because reality is the reason why right now I think the airlines industry is in the condition that it's in is because of supply and demand. Like, if Tim needs to see me in person on Tuesday, well, I'm in Connecticut, he's in North Carolina. I have a brand new car. I'm not driving that thing to North Carolina. I'm getting on an airplane. It's a 7-hour drive versus a 1-hour flight. I have to get on the airplane at that point. So I found a doohickey, and I'm really excited about using the word doohickey because I haven't used the word doohickey in a semi-intelligent way in a really long time. So I found a doohickey because I saw it on my way down to Florida. So, and it will make your experience as a traveler just a little bit better. So for those of you going on tour with us this summer, or planning on going on tour with us this summer, I want to recommend the purchase of a Connect Air. Okay, they sell it on Amazon. All right, you can see it a little bit here. I'll just bring it right up to the camera. Okay, what is a Connect Air? So JetBlue, to their credit, has this awesome entertainment system. And in all my tours so far, there's been a really good entertainment system on the airplane. But here's where JetBlue kind of falls short, that you need the old-fashioned plug-in earphones, the big ones, or something you can plug in with, like the metal circular plug. I don't know the name of it because I'm not the brightest bulb here. But so most people now, such as myself, wear the earbuds, which I have, which technologically is about as advanced as I get because I'm old school. But you can't pair, notice the word there, I sound smart, you cannot pair your earbuds to the entertainment system that's on the airplane. So if you did not bring your own kind of old school, ear device, whatever you wear over your ears, that you could physically plug in, you had to buy one on JetBlue because, you have to pay for everything now on an airplane. So sitting next to me on my way down to Florida, I saw the doohickey and I saw someone plug in. So that's the plug I'm talking about, the metal plug. Instead of plugging in his headphones, he plugged in the doohickey. He then paired his earbuds to the doohickey, and the doohickey allowed him to use his earbuds while using JetBlue's entertainment system. Whoa, blew my mind. Okay. And again, I am not what we call, I don't walk into a room and people be like, that Mike Spinner is a bright guy. And especially when it comes to technology, I am not a technology person. I can text message like, as well as the next person. But, I am still very much in the creating fire kind of phase of evolution versus the technological advancements that we see all over the world. I recently purchased a new car, and half the things I have no idea how to use, nor will I learn. But this doohickey made a really big difference because I had my old fashioned earphones, but they're big and bulky, and you put them in luggage and they can get crushed, et cetera, et cetera. But I also had my earbuds, which I use for my phone. Many of you who interview with me know I have my earbuds in with me. And so now for airline travel, because of this doohickey, I love the word. It makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about. I can charge this, pair it with my earbuds, and it makes my flying experience that much better. So once again, for those of you looking to travel with us this summer, Connect Air. And in fact, you know what's coming next, people. If you watch me every week, and some of you do, What in the World this week is sponsored by Connect Air. I only saved the box for my show. This is garbage now, but I wanted to show you all that exists. So this might be my first in-person sponsorship. Tim, maybe you could confirm that for me. Tonight's What in the World is sponsored by Connect Air. All right. And you now know what Connect Air is. And by the way, if you're a frequent flyer, because I am not a frequent flyer, if you're a frequent flyer, seriously, this makes the earbuds work for the entertainment system. It's awesome. Definitely look into it. So tonight's What in the World is sponsored by Connect Air. I'll just hold up the piece again. One more time. There's a doohickey. And the only major topic right now in the sports world that's meaningful is this college football playoff tournament. All right. I know some of you are disappointed that Wisconsin wasn't picked. Well, one of you. All right. And it wasn't even close, if anyone was wondering. I don't think they were on the agenda particularly long. And yes, the games have by and large been pretty poor so far. And so now what has happened is you had the school of thought that said the BCS was really bad when it was only 2 teams. And then it was really bad when it was only 4 teams. So we have to expand it. So then expand to 12 teams. Well, now it's terrible because the games were bad. And which just leads me to, add to my world conclusion that there's some people who will never, ever be happy. But here's the thing. Like, yes, the games, and I've watched, I believe, all of them, including, the Notre Dame Georgia game today, which Notre Dame looked great. Like, you think about it, the number 1 and 2 seeds are out now. Ohio State looked amazing. Like, how did you lose to Michigan, Ohio State? But anyway, and, between the games being a blowout and a lot of the lower bowl games being really weak games because these kids are now sitting out because of NIL money or lack thereof, lack of motivation, things like that. It hasn't been a great college football bowl season. I love college football, so it's been disappointing. But here's the thing. Whether it's 2 teams, 4 teams, 8, 12, 16, 20 teams, I think eventually there's going to be 16 teams in the college football playoff, if you ask me. The issue isn't that a college football championship tournament is the problem. That is not the problem. So let's stop complaining about the format. Yeah, should Alabama have gotten in over a Boise State? Maybe, probably, or as bad as they looked against Michigan. Is there the issue of, hey, there are smaller programs getting in over bigger programs because conference championships get kind of the AQ system? I hear you. I'm willing to have that debate and conversation with you. But you don't end this because the games have by and large been boring. You just tweak it. And that's the way the world works. You come up with a great idea. It's not so great at the beginning, okay? But you tweak it, you change it, you twist it, you improve it, and you make it something awesome. Year 1 of a 12-team BCS so far has been a cash for clunkers program. It's been boring football. There's been one good game, all right? That Arizona State game yesterday, all right? That was a football game. All right. That was a lot of fun to watch. We haven't had the high drama. We haven't really, had a game that you woke up the next day being like, oh, I love football, or it was worth losing sleep over. Hopefully, the next round will be, the next 3 games will be. All right. But you have a concept that's going to work. And so I think what we just need is a little bit of patience because I think by 2026, 2027, as long as they make the right tweaks and like not support the conference champion as much as they are, okay, and maybe make it just a 1 through 12, things like that. I think there should be more games on campus sites. I think the home field advantage should be a part of it, just my own opinion. But here's the thing you just don't take a great concept and blow it up because you had a bad year or because the product isn't so good right now. All right. I think we can all agree, all right, that the best movie ever made was Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe. I think we can all agree, right? Good. No disagreement, nothing in the chat. Love it. Renee Zellweger was in that movie and really did not play her part particularly well. All right. But we don't like not watch a movie because one character was bad. Okay. The movie was awesome. All right. My favorite movie ever. I've watched that movie probably 50 times. Fabulous movie if you've never seen it before. As an aside, I also saw Gladiator 2 while I was on vacation. Totally worth seeing, but nothing to do with the conversation at hand. But the point here is when you have something awesome and one piece of the awesomeness doesn't quite work out, like imagine cooking a great dish, right? But you overcook the meat. Hey, it's a great stew, it's a great concoction. Meat was slightly dry. Do you not make the dish anymore? No, you tweak it, you improve it, you season it better, et cetera, the next time. That's how I feel about this college football playoff. I love the fact they expanded to 12. I wanted to be 16, no buys. 4 rounds, smash mouth football, let's go. All right. But seed them in a way that the games will be a little bit better. Or especially after that first round. You would expect the 1 to beat the 16. Okay, if you go 16 or the 5 to beat the 12, whatever it is. Like you expect the better teams to win early. But what I want is the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals to get progressively better and better. So, I just feel like for the people who right now who are like, this stinks, it's been a failure, it's boring, it's a bad look for college football, I think you're completely wrong. So what in the world to you? I think what we just need is a little patience here. And hopefully the planning committee who is putting all this on, I hope they're just watching carefully and they understand they're onto a great concept. They just need to do it better, which makes that particular industry no different than any other industry in the world, including the one that I work in. You have a great idea, you push a great idea, and you do it better and better and better until it is the best it could possibly be. We do it for our tours. They can do it for their tournament, and you can do it for whatever field that you work in. Rant over. And that's it for the latest spin this week. And as always, how do I get involved in this? How do I do the coolest thing I'm ever going to do? How do I make myself a part of these amazing tours? There's only one way. Go to studentathleteworld.com, complete your application, interview with this guy right here, and pack your bags. Make 2025 the best year ever. We'll see everyone next week. Have a great week, everybody.